If I were to ask you about the disposable napkins that they give you in any of the dining halls, would you know that they're A, compostable, B, recyclable, or C, trash?
I would think of them as trash.
Trash? Okay.
Compostable, trash. Is that compostable?
They are compostable.
Yeah.
Compostable, perfect. If I were to ask you about like the plastic forks that they give you, best guess? Compostable, recyclable, trash?
I'd say recyclable.
I would say they should be recyclable, but I don't think people recycle.
Those are
Trash.
Trash. Very impressed. Oh, trash. That's right. If I were to ask you about like disposable coffee cups, you know, with like a cardboard sleeve, plastic lid, would you think that those are A, compostable, B, recyclable, or C, trash?
I would say recyclable.
So the lid is recyclable.
The coffee cup can't go in the compost. Compostable.
That is what my first thought was too. Unfortunately, the cup has to be thrown out in the trash because it's lined with plastic. But the lid and the sleeve are recyclable.
I'm the AGM at Cotton Commons here. I'm responsible for running the unit along with Rebecca, the GM, and Phyllis, our production manager. We handle all aspects of food and beverage, student catering. Also do special events as needed throughout dining. We don't get rid of our waste, we donate in a sense to the sustainability end of the waste. We come pick it up and they use it in a farm and stuff like that. We also have a sorting system in the back of our dish room. I have usually don't do it many times in a dish room area, which we did earlier, as we filmed earlier, where they sort the product and stuff like that. So if the students add stuff into the conveyor belt, we go back and we sort it ourselves. Sort of like plastic goes into one, food waste will go into another, actual trash will go into another barrel, and stuff like that there. So if it's regular trash, will go into the actual trash compactor we have in the back, on the dock area. Boxes go into what we call our baler system, where we put as many boxes as we can in there, and then it gets crushed. And then we made this, it's like this big ball of cardboard that the save this stuff will come and another company will come and pick it up for us. Any recyclable bin, plastics and stuff like that goes into a clear bag, that goes in our recycle bin that we have outside. And then anything that's compostable, that's like the cards that are compostable and stuff, that goes into another bin next to it. And any of our food waste that we have goes in these yellow barrels that we leave on the loading dock, and every morning the company comes by, picks it up and takes it.
Everybody Counts is an initiative where we pack food for people in the greater Boston area, so it goes to homeless shelters and food banks. And it's really it's a really great program just because it's two birds with one stone. It's an environmental sustainability mission, but it also is a social impact. In fact, during COVID, food insecurity has risen from 8% to 19.2%. So I think it's been a really great way for BC to recycle its leftovers to people who need it the most and who are in the closest proximity.
BC Dining definitely places sustainability at a very high priority, which is great. And I feel that they also want to really incorporate our Jesuit values, which is kind of cool, looking at the big picture of sustainability and how it, you know, potentially the long-term goal, I would say, is having sustainability be an overall experience for the students. One challenge, obviously, that comes to mind is COVID. That was definitely challenging in the sense of, you know, changing how we offer things, whether it's, you know, different packaging that we were not able to access. We take pride in our world-centric containers that are compostable, and there have been some shortages and substitutions along the way, just kind of dealing with that impact from COVID. But I think there's always rooms for improvement, right? We have every year, every semester, new students coming to campus. So we always have to capture that market and make sure that they understand the importance of composting or how it works, you know, from dining hall to dining hall, because it may be different. We have a lot of great signage and I love that, but then when we have our interns come out and really spread that message, it just is so much more relatable from student to student, kind of painting the benefit as to why we do these things and getting that buy-in, which we see, you know, kind of really gets that message across, and then you see the behavior kind of change from there. As far as Save That Stuff, we do work with them. They pick up all of our waste, all of our recycle. In the past, before COVID, we did some tours there as well, just to kind of see the whole process of what they do and where all of this waste goes and how they then, transform it, which I would love for us to really kind of get back to doing that kind of stuff.
Save That Stuff is a company BC employs to sort and process our waste. The recycling is taken to a facility and then sorted. Our landfill waste is actually burned for energy production. Our compost is brought into their facility and processed with our anaerobic biodigester that produces renewable energy. The main advantage of this is that it handles contamination very well. So even if a few plastic forks we use in the dining halls end up in the compost, it will not contaminate it. Furthermore, they have employees that are trained to sort industrial scale food waste. Even our leftover food waste is sorted by removing the packaging, then the food is made into a slurry and digested by bacteria that produce methane, which is then used to create electricity. The slurry is baked and can be used as fertilizer for parks and golf courses. Save That Stuff is doing innovative work to help local communities and institutions with cost-effective waste disposal and ultimately work towards their goal of zero waste. Overall, our waste is actually being composted, recycled, and processed.
Most students at BC would say they support composting or think it's important, but we don't see necessarily the highest level of participation in, students using the dining hall compost bins properly. We still see a lot of students kind of not caring enough to sort out their waste properly between compost, recycling, and trash, even though it's a really simple step to take to be a little more sustainable. So I think I would love to see it be a little bit more mainstream in students' daily habits to just do the really simple step of composting, sorting their waste properly. Students can have a big impact in the direction that the administration and the university moves in. So if Real Food sees that there's a ton of interest from students in compost bins, we're going to be able to get more funding for bins, we're going to be able to distribute bins.
Overall, this goal of ours is something that we foresee evolving, with everything that we do. We're always trying to be, the next step, but also kind of one step ahead. And I think it's important for us to always place an importance on these kind of initiatives and to have our community support us in it so that we can, as a group, have that overall sustainability experience.